body bags where horror lies.
Who is this irresistible creature who has an insatiable love for the dead?
Hey guys, happy Thursday, this is your fright chick speaking. Okay, so I'm finishing off my Ginger Snaps trilogy. I realised I hadn't done the third one, so this week I'm doing Ginger Snaps Back, the beginning. Is that the beginning? It does. Evil Rises. Yeah, I'm hoping this will be a short review because there isn't that much to say about it that you wouldn't already know if you have seen the first one. So this came out in 2004. It is obviously the third movie in our trilogy. Thank God they didn't go down the tangent of doing a fourth, fifth, whatever with different actors. I hate when that happens. But anyways, if you've seen the first movie, there's a quick recap of that. We have two sisters. We have Ginger and Bridget. They are social outcasts. There are werewolves involved. Ginger gets infected by a werewolf, and over the course of the movie she transforms into one, but the symptoms are very like puberty for girls, you know, blossoming into womanhood. So it's cleverly done because it's kind of like, you know, you're never quite sure if maybe she is a werewolf, but then it becomes quite clear that she is. But to the people around her, she's just a moody teenager who is going through puberty, which makes it even better at the end when the transformation is complete. The plot of this is exactly the same. I really don't understand why they made this one. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the fact they made a trilogy, and I would have been very happy with a third movie if it wasn't the fucking first movie just repackaged in a different timeline. Okay, this is set in like 19th century Canada, like up in the mountains, you know, up in the woods where they had like wooden forts and things, you know, sort of cavalrymen. That is literally what this is. We follow Bridget and Ginger, exactly the same plot, exactly the same circumstances, everything, except that we are now in 19th century Canada. They end up at a fort, but before this, for like the first 5-10 minutes of the movie, they are travelling on horseback. They're the only ones. They have no family. We have no background on their family at this point. They meet an Indian seer woman, like an old woman who, you know, can prophesy things. And I don't know if it's her son, but he's like a hunter. They meet them and, you know, they, you know, sort of have a little bit of dialogue together. Nothing really important except that the seer tells them that they are prophesied to end up where they are right now and that something bad's going to happen. She gives them a little mini prophecy that they just dismiss because they think she's a crazy bitch. They end up at a fort seeking shelter and passage through the mountains, you know, because it's very cold, obviously, it's winter time. And the people there, it's mostly men. They don't trust them, you know, they don't want them there because there is actually a werewolf problem that everyone is well aware of, but they're not going to tell the girls this. So they keep the girls in the dark, but it's pretty obvious what's going to happen here. So the girls are given a room, you know, and sort of food and shelter until they can be on their way. But Ginger manages to get herself bitten by a young boy who is supposedly dead. His father, I think, is one of the well-respected men in the fort. His son is supposedly dead, but he's not. He was actually infected, and he's keeping it quiet. And that is literally the catalyst for the whole movie. He kept it quiet. The kid infected Ginger, and they have to now, her and Bridget now have to try and keep the transformation a secret from everybody because obviously they will be killed straight away. Also, the guy whose son is the infected one, it's pretty much all about them and him, really. That's it. You know, he's obviously trying to get them to keep stum about the fact that the kid's still alive and is a huge risk to everybody, whilst also trying to get rid of them and them trying to keep their own werewolf secret away from everybody else. There's just a lot of secrecy in this film. And that's it. I'm so annoyed about it because I thought the first two were amazing, but there is nothing interesting in this entire movie. You are literally watching the first one play out in a different timeline, different setting, but it is so much less interesting. The Indian seer woman and the hunter, they pop back up sort of towards the end when all hell breaks loose at some point, because during the point where Ginger gets bitten and then when we get to the climax of the movie in the last sort of 20 minutes, nothing happens. Nothing. It is so boring. There is really nothing to talk about. You know, it's just a lot of them wandering around. I think they just were like, you know what, this is kind of cool looking because we're in a different timeline. We've got these cool costumes that we can wear and we're in some wooden fort. Let's just show lots of wide shots of the fort and us walking around and us using, look at these tools, look at these implements, look at all this strange stuff, look at the bathtub. It's just completely different. It's kind of like they were just showing off that they had a budget to put shit in the film from that timeline. It was just weird. So it's literally like Ginger gets bitten and then climax. They're the only interesting points in the whole film. The Indian Sea Woman and the Hunter go into a little bit more depth towards the end about the prophecy, and it is literally a prophecy that we don't even see rounded off at the end of the movie. It is that they are referred to as the red and the black simply because they are wearing, like, one of them's wearing a black dress, one of them's wearing a red dress, and then obviously Ginger is a redhead and Bridget has brunette hair, which is actually super dark in this. But yeah, they are referred to as the red and the black, and the prophecy is that they will release the werewolf bloodline or they will destroy it. It is up to them to pick their destiny, but that is how it's going to go. They're either going to take them out or they're going to help them. And then you get the climax of the movie, which is not very much of a showdown, I've got to say. You know, obviously Ginger is going to turn into a werewolf. From previous experience, we know this, but she will turn into a werewolf. And there is one scene in this that is actually kind of cool and kind of interesting, where the werewolves are obviously, she's the only kind of human looking werewolf. All the other ones are, you know, obviously dog like, wolf like, don't know why I said dog, wolf like. And she has this wonderful shot where she's got her arms open and a cloak over her face, and she opens a gate and all these werewolves come flooding in behind her, and she's kind of like their master or like their mistress. And it was actually kind of, that bit was kind of cool. And then obviously all hell breaks loose where the men are now fighting the werewolves and Ginger and Bridget are at the epicenter of it, and who's going to come out on top, only they will decide. That's it. That is the movie. Not interesting at all. Honestly, not actually worth a watch. I never set up anything. I'd say watch it if you're a fan of the Ginger Snaps movies. I'd say buy it if you're a fan of Ginger Snaps movies, because you will find it kind of cool, because if you love Ginger Snaps number 1 and 2, I think you'll enjoy it, but there's nothing new and it's really not that interesting, I'm sorry. But yeah, so I will see you guys next week. Bye.